Hello, I'm James Barth from Rock Hard 4x4, and I want to take a second of your time and explain to you the sliders that we build for the ZJs and for the XJs. We're going to be doing an install here on the XJ here today. Now these sliders are built by a 2x3 tubing here and by 1.5 inch square tubing that goes over to brace into the side of your subframe. It also mounts into the pinch weld and here into the rear spring perch. Okay, so this particular one is for the passenger side. These bolts are going to go into the spring perch area. These bolts are going to go into the pinch weld. These are going to go into the subframe and also here. Now, when you're installing these, we're going to have to install nut inserts into the frame on these two locations, and you're going to drill the pinch weld here on each side. The most important thing is to have the rocker tucked solid against the body when you drill the mounting holes. So you're going to go ahead and mount it first with the 2 bolts here at the back on the spring perch. That will align it so that you have everything in a line. Put this up against the frame on both front and back and right up against the pinch weld. Go ahead and mark the pinch weld, and that way you'll be able to drop it down to drill the holes along with the same here. You're going to mark these and you're going to drill them, and we'll show you how to install the nut inserts. Now these are the nut inserts that go in the frame. And what you're going to do is you're going to take the nut insert, you're going to drill a 1/2 inch hole, which we've done here, and you're going to go ahead and tighten this nut insert in place using a 1/4 inch Allen and a 9/16 wrench. You do is you stick it in the hole of the frame and you tighten it down. This will expand the nut insert and put threads inside your frame. If your spring perch is not drilled, you will need to go ahead and drill the 2 holes here. What you'll do is hold the rocker in place, take some vice grips, mount it in place here, and mark your holes. We've went ahead and drilled those holes to a little over a 5/16 inch. At the pinch weld, along the seam here, we've drilled these all out to 1/4 inch. Now that you have all the holes drilled and the nut inserts installed into the side of the frame, go ahead and bring the rocker guard over in place, and we're going to go ahead and bolt it up. Now go ahead and locate the hardware for this installation. You're going to have 2 bolts for each side that are 5/16 by around 1 inch long with nylock nuts and washers. These are the ones that are going to go into the spring perch here in the back. The ones that go into the side of the frame, into the nut inserts, are going to be just a little bit longer than 1 inch, about 1.25 inches, and they're going to be a 5/16 with a flat washer also. You're going to go ahead and hold the rocker guard up in place. Go ahead and start the bolts in the 4 areas where the nut inserts are, and go ahead and put the bolts with the washers on the spring perch, leaving everything loose. And then we will start at the pinch weld. Now that we've went ahead and started the bolts into the side of the frame and into the spring perch, that'll hold the rocker guard up in place. We're going to go ahead and lift the rocker guard up and put the bolts through the pinch weld. One thing is the brackets go on the outside of the pinch weld. Then you will install the 1/4 inch bolts with the 1/4 inch locking nuts on the inside. Go ahead and put all these in place before you tighten any of the bolts. Now we're going to go ahead and bring the rocker guard to the frame and to the pinch weld a little at a time. We're going to go ahead and bring the bolts here in the center. We'll bring them in the front, and then we'll work the pinch weld. You'll use a 1/2 inch wrench here on the inner bolts to the subframe and 2 7/16 wrenches out here on the outside. We're not fully tightening everything yet. We're just bringing it up so that we bring it up evenly. I wanted to talk about something here that people that are really into XJs may notice that's been done to this particular Jeep. This particular Jeep has frame stiffeners put on it where we've boxed in the subframe. The hard part about that is it does change the length of these tubes depending on whose frame kit you use and how you installed them. If you have already installed frame stiffeners on your vehicle, you may need to shorten these tubes right here a little bit. You may not need to, depending on how thick a plate that was used originally on the frame when you put the frame stiffeners on. Now that we've went ahead and installed this rocker, let's go over a couple of the things about it. We went ahead and installed the nut inserts here in the front on the 2 areas into the subframe. Here in the center and in the back, we've went ahead and drilled the 2 3/8 holes here. Now these are going to take, you're going to tighten these bolts here with 2 9/16 wrenches, these with 1/2 inch and also 1/2 here. We used a 1/4 inch drill bit where we drilled through the pinch weld and used 7/16 wrenches to tighten these down. Now, the nice thing about this slider is it's braced here, and it's braced here towards the outside. Gives it a major amount of leverage force, besides just going into the side of the subframe when we go into the pinch weld. That's some of the things that sets us apart and makes this rocker guard extremely heavy duty for an XJ. You can pretty much lift this vehicle off of this rocker if you needed to. It is extremely strong, made of heavy duty materials made here in the United States.